Just when you think you've got this show figured out, it throws a curveball. After several episodes with no Xenomorph in sight, Alien Earth Episode 4 surprises us all. The Xenomorphs return. Sort of. Yep, the acid-blooded nightmare is back, but not in the way you might expect. Let's talk about it. What's up, my know-it-alls? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Alien Earth Episode 4. And let me tell you, this episode continues the trend of character-driven, thought-provoking sci-fi goodness. As always, I'll kick things off with a spoiler-free rundown, then break down the Xenomorph twist before wrapping up with our know-it-all index rating. So strap in, no facehugger protection needed for now. Let's get into it. Episode 4, titled Observation, picks up right after the previous events, with our characters dealing with the fallout and new challenges. This time, the tension at the Prodigy research facility is at an all-time high. We follow Wendy, Slightly, and the rest of the hybrid Lost Boys as they face personal trials and conflicts that are really going to test the limits of their humanity. The episode delivers a compelling, character-driven story without leaning on big action set pieces, and yet it's just as gripping. There's a palpable sense of philosophical tension in the air as everyone is grappling with tough choices and secrets. And don't worry, even though the titular alien has been laying low, this episode has a little something special in store by the end. No spoilers, but fans of the Xenomorph will want to really see sort of what happens, so stick around for sure. Like the best episodes of Alien Earth, Episode 4, with 4 episodes in, I'm saying the best, you know what I'm saying. Like the best episodes of Sci-Fi, Episode 4 places a moral dilemma front and center. It asks questions about identity, and ultimately empathy in ways that caught me off guard. For example, one of the hybrids faces a heart-wrenching choice between protecting someone they love and staying loyal to their makeshift family. Meanwhile, the bigwigs at Prodigy, looking at you, Boy Cavalier, continue to treat these creatures, these human AI hybrids, if you will, as property, which begins to raise the stakes on the show's overall core ethical question: what defines a person's humanity?
But we took the minds of children and put them in synthetic bodies. That's not theoretical. I mean, if we did this wrong, best case, we got a bunch of AIs running around thinking that they're human. Worst case, we killed 6 kids.
The episode's title, Observation, is really fitting. So much of the drama here revolves around who's watching whom and what they learn by listening. Surveillance and trust become really key issues. We have scientists spying on hybrids, a character secretly communicating with outside forces, off-site, specifically a conspirator. And even in the alien that might not be as mindless as we thought, this thematic focus sort of really on the listening and understanding versus control and manipulation. For me, it gives the episode a really thoughtful, almost philosophical edge, yet none of it feels heavy-handed. The writing's confident enough to weave these big ideas into tense character moments. And yes, there's even a touch of humor. At one point, we learn our resident mad scientist, the Boy Cavalier, Boy Genius, whatever, hosts a Peter Pan podcast. You know, he does that thing again where he's reading the stories for his Lost Boys. Because apparently owning a continent and a bunch of Xenomorph eggs isn't enough. The man needs to be a podcaster too. So, you know, hey, whatever. All right, let's talk about that Xenomorph, shall we? Throughout the episode, there are all kinds of moral dilemmas where people are being pitted against one another. This comeback is so wild. After 2 episodes, well, that's a lie, episode and a half, because at the very beginning of episode 2, the Xenomorph is basically gone, and you don't see much more of him except for the body and the corpse. But you get another episode with no alien mayhem whatsoever. And it's mainly because they've already told that story. At least that's how I began to take it. I was starting to kind of wonder when our favorite extraterrestrial terrors would show up again. Well, episode 4 answers that. Specifically, it's a totally unexpected way. Instead of a full-grown Xenomorph rampaging through the facility, we get a newborn. Let me say that again. We get a newborn, okay? But it's a weird Xenomorph snake that pops out And there's this wonderful scene early on where Wendy is asked by, I call him Boy Genius, because that's what they call him in the show often, is asked if she can mimic the sound that she hears.
Can you make the sound?
In a frequency we can hear.
How?
Don't think of your voice as a voice. Think of it as a speaker. Just plays music. The sound is in your mainframe, so you just Alakazam.
And she does the sound. She can clearly communicate with these things. And that's a big, huge part of this whole thing. And the scene where the Xenomorph pops out of the lung, or it's her brother's lung that it was put into, it's surprisingly quiet. Almost intimate. So picture this, Wendy, who has somehow become a Xenomorph whisperer, like I just explained, is in the lab with the hermit, if you will. She literally sings a chittering lullaby to help deliver the baby Xeno. And when this slimy little snake-like chest burster emerges, because it's not a chest burster, it's actually, I guess it's a chest burster, sort of. She gently pets it like it's a newborn puppy. Who had cute bonding moments with the Xenomorph on their bingo card? I sure as heck didn't. So, I still think it's brilliant. It's definitely a subversion of what sort of we've been expecting from the Alien franchise. Instead of the usual horror gore fest, we get this really eerie yet touching scene. Don't get me wrong, the dread is still there. After all, it's a Xenomorph baby, okay? It's a Xenomorph baby. We know exactly how that usually goes. But by having Wendy connect with the creature, the show introduces an entirely fascinating wrinkle. Can a Xenomorph be communicated with? Maybe even tamed? Or is it cleverly manipulating her sympathy? This twist is going to pay off, no doubt, as the show builds up for the last 2 episodes, making the alien's return, I think, all the more earned. At least for me, I hope it will be. I enjoyed the lore building the show is telling. I dug this episode. I really did. I dug it a lot. I know that there are skeptical people out there who are like, oh, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, it's not what I wanted, it's never. This show is very appropriately doing what I think shows should be doing that are doing this kind of groundwork. It's given us what we wanted. We've seen Xenomorphs, yay, Alien. But it's also giving us this brilliant look at other things happening. So we get new story beats in conjunction with these classic ones we wanted, and I think we're still going to build to something. Now, from a lore standpoint, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Alien comic books that came out. There was a comic that the Dark Horse did that had featured a female android, and the female android ends up becoming sort of like she's not an alien queen, but she's sort of an alien she's able to communicate with them. They don't try to attack her or destroy her or whatever. And I don't know how much of that lore they're building on or borrowing from, but this definitely feels, even so much as how Wendy looks, this feels like they're borrowing a lot from that run. I could be wrong. I actually need to look up I have the omnibus here somewhere that I need to actually look up and read, because that's the only reason I know this story exists. But yeah, so there you go. Now you know. If knowing half the battle, you have to know it all yourself. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the episode, because I'm excited for where they're going. I'd love to know what your thoughts are as well. Comment below for me. But what's my score ultimately? What's the nodal index score for this episode? I'm very happy with this. This is not a filler episode. This is character development. And for me, that earns it an 8 out of 10. Let me know what you think of the episode. Did you enjoy it? Are you enjoying the ride? Is this really good television that kind of gives us the nostalgia stuff, but also gives us new things to enjoy and look at? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, we'll talk again real soon, guys. Never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all. Bye.